Hello, friends and researchers. Welcome to Khobra's Academy. Today, we will discussing the topic types of research. It is one of the very important topic and very interesting topic during study of research methodology, and it covers most of the types of research which can be asked either in long answer questions or in objective type of questions in research methodology. So, research is an organized and systematic way of finding answers to questions. So, research is nothing but a way of finding answers to the questions in a systematic and in an organized manner. Research is a collection of methods and methodologies that researchers apply systematically to produce scientifically based knowledge. One of the most important characteristics of research is it applies scientifically based knowledge for finding out the reasons. Research is a search for knowledge or as any systematic investigation with an open mind to establish novel facts, usually using scientific method. So, basic backbone of any research is finding out facts using systemic scientific methods. Various characteristics of research are: a systemic approach is followed in research. As we have discussed already, anything we are researching must be followed in a systemic manner. Rules and procedures that set the objectives of a research process are an integral part of research. Research is based on logical reasoning. This is very important characteristics of research. Illogical things cannot be considered as a research. Research is analytical in nature. Whenever you are doing a research, you have to do the analysis of the cause and output. Involves both inductive and deductive methods. Accuracy, reliability, and validity are important characteristics of research. This point is very important. If your findings are not accurate, are not reliable, or if they are not valid, your research, your findings, your efforts are useless. The data or knowledge that is derived is in real time, actual observations in the natural settings. There is in-depth analysis of all data collected from research so that there are no anomalies associated with it. It should be clear cut and well defined facts should be presented by research. The meaning should be clear. No ambiguous meaning, ambiguous result can be predicted by a good research. It makes use of all the available data so that there is no ambiguity in inference. Researchers need to practice ethics and code of conduct. This is also very important characteristics. The research should be done ethically and with following standard code of conduct without using any illegal, unfair means, falsification of data and other such kind of activities. Research creates a path for generating new questions. So, when we start doing research, during the course of research, we come to know that these are the questions which are unanswered and can be researched on. So, thus, research has a very important role in generating questions for forthcoming or future research or undertaking new research studies. More research opportunities can be generated from existing research. As the research during its course of action creates new questions, so new research areas are generated by a good research. So now we will discuss about various types of scientific research. The research is broadly classified into two main classes. First is fundamental or basic research, and second is applied research. So these are basic classes of research. One is fundamental or basic research, and second is applied research. So first, fundamental or basic research. Mostly instead of fundamental, it is generally referred as basic research only. It is an investigation on basic principles and reasons for occurrence of a particular event or a process or a phenomenon. So basic research focuses on the basic reasons of any event, process or phenomena, or whatever we want to study, or whatever is the problem. So basic reasons for that particular scientific event are studied in the basic research. Study or investigation of some natural phenomena or relating to pure science are termed as basic research. Generally, pure science research is termed as basic research. It is driven by curiosity or interest in scientific questions. The main motivation is to extend man's knowledge, not to create or invent something. So, basic research is basically done to explore and expand knowledge in particular field. It is also called as theoretical research. So, all the basic theories of science or social science are based on basic research and were utilized for expansion of knowledge, and based on that knowledge their applications were done, and that lead to the applied research. Basic research provides a systemic and deep insight into the problem and facilitates extraction of scientific and logical explanation and conclusion on it. So by doing the basic research, insight of a problem can be analyzed, and thus scientific and logical explanations for any scientific phenomena or any question can be developed. Basic research sometimes may not lead to immediate use or application. It just expands the knowledge. It may or may not be useful for the immediate use or application. It is not concerned with solving any practical problems of immediate interest, but it is original or basic in characteristics. There is no obvious commercial value to the discoveries that result from the basic research. The outcomes of basic research form the basis of many applied research. That's it. The basic research lays the foundation for applied research. The knowledge gained from basic research can be utilized for application leading to the applied research. So next second type is applied research. It is scientific study and research that seeks to solve practical problems. So whenever an answer to a practical problem or to solve an immediate problem or to utilize the knowledge for everyday use is applied research. Applied research solves certain problems employing well known and accepted theories and principles. A research, the outcome of which has immediate application, is also termed as applied research. Applied is derived from application. So when we use research for application of some theories or laws for solving a problem or for day-to-day use or for its application, then it is called as applied research. It is of practical use to current activity, used to find solutions to everyday problem, cure illness, and develop innovative technologies, rather than to acquire knowledge for knowledge's sake. As we have discussed, basic research is done for knowledge's sake, to develop the knowledge, to acquire knowledge, just for improving and increasing the scope of knowledge and area of knowledge. But applied research is used to apply that knowledge for solving day-to-day problem or for immediate using that knowledge for any practical purpose. Most of the experimental research, case studies, and interdisciplinary research are essentially applied research. Applied research is helpful for basic research. So, use of basic research basically is to carry forward to develop applied research. The knowledge developed in basic research is used for application in applied research. Both basic and applied research are further divided into two broad types of research. They are quantitative research and qualitative research. So, as name indicate, quantitative research is the systemic empirical investigation of any phenomena via statistical, mathematical, or computational technique. The objective of quantitative research is to develop and employ mathematical models, theories, and or hypotheses pertaining to particular phenomena. Whenever we use mathematical or computational techniques to find out quantum and relative quantitative characteristics and their correlation with each other and the problem, we do quantitative research. It investigates the what, where, and when of decision making of particular problem. It is numerical in nature. It is non-descriptive. It applies statistics or mathematics and uses number. It is an iterative process whereby evidence is evaluated. So to get evidence, to get data for processing, we have to repeatedly study same phenomena to collect the data and to process it so as to get quantitative analytical inferences. The results are often presented in tables and graphs, and it is conclusive. Based on the data and its treatment, we have to draw solid conclusions in quantitative research. Qualitative research. It is a research dealing with phenomena that are difficult or impossible to quantify mathematically, such as beliefs, meanings, attributes, and symbols. So, certain things we cannot measure, we can observe. So, the study of those things which cannot be measured but which can be observed, which can be felt, are undertaken in qualitative research. It investigates the why and how, not just what, where, and when. So, in qualitative research, apart from what, where, and when, we also analyzed why and how. That involve the mixing of qualitative as well as quantitative methods. Mixed research is a research that involves the mixing of quantitative and qualitative methods or paradigm characteristics. Nature of data is mixture of variables, words, and images, as it include both mathematical techniques for quantitative data and observational techniques and exploratory techniques for qualitative data. So the inferences are also based on both quantitative and qualitative inferences. Now, apart from these basic or most important broad categories, there are various types of research, around 20. We will discuss one by one. It has been enlisted in this current slide. So, there are around 20 types. Some are interlinked, some are related to each other, but for broad understanding, we have classified them into 20 subtypes. So, let's discuss them one by one. First, exploratory research. Research conducted for a problem not clearly defined. It is broad in focus and rarely provides definite answers to specific research issues. It aims at gaining information about the issue in hand. The objective of exploratory research is to identify key issues and key variables for the particular scientific problem we are studying. Helps to determine the best research design, data collection methods, and selection of subjects. The results of are not usually useful for decision making by themselves, but provide significant insight into given situation for particular problem for particular phenomena, not generalizable to the population at large. So exploratory research explores to find out the causes of a problem or phenomena. It is just tries to give in-depth knowledge about the problem so that it can be studied further. It involves a literature search or conducting focus group interviews. The exploratory of new phenomena in this way may help the researcher for better understanding of the problem, test the feasibility of more extensive study, and determine the best method to be used in the subsequent study. So, to gain the basic knowledge of a problem so as to undertake a further detailed study is the main use of exploratory research. Next is explanatory research. So, explanatory research is conducted for a problem that was not well researched before. It focuses on explaining the aspects of study, to build, test, or revise a theory. It is primarily carried out to understand or to explain relationship and events. It uses correlations to study relationship between dimensions or characteristics of individuals, group, situation, or event. Explanatory research asks the why question, demands priorities, generates operational definition, and provides a better research model. So, basic utility of explanatory research is to build or to test a theory describing a particular question or phenomena, and to find out the reasons and best possible options for a particular event or problem, and to explain relationship of particular event with various other parameters or phenomena is the main role of explanatory research. Next is descriptive research. It refers to research that provides an accurate portrayal of characteristics of a particular issue. So, a research carried out to describe a particular problem very clearly is called as descriptive research. It is directed towards studying what and how many of this what. Means what is causing the problem and how many reasons are there to particular problem or particular issue. It is directed toward answering questions such as what is this, how is this, and so on. These studies are a mean of discovering new meaning, describing what exists, determining the frequency with which something occurs, and categorizing the information. It deals with everything that can be counted and studied, which has an impact on the problem it is dealing with. The researcher does not control or manipulate any of the variables, but only observe and measure them. It is also known as statistical research. So, just to describe and find out the more details about a particular problem or study or reasons behind a particular event, the descriptive research is carried out. Next is experimental research. Experimental research is an objective, systematic, controlled investigation for predicting and controlling phenomena and examining probability and causality among selected variables. It includes a hypothesis, a variable that can be manipulated by the researcher, and variable that can be measured or observed, calculated, and compared. It best establishes causes and effect relationship, strictly adhere to the scientific research design, completed in a controlled environment, collects data and results. These will either support or reject the hypothesis, refer to a hypothesis testing or deductive research method. So, in experimental research, experiments are carried out, designed, and carried out to find out the or to explain the particular phenomena or scientific event, to find out the causes, reasons, and explanations for particular scientific phenomena, doing controlled experimental procedures. Next is correlational research. Correlational research refers to the systematic investigation or statistical study of relationship among two or more variables without necessarily determining cause and effect. It just find out the correlation between two or more variables and cause, but doesn't necessarily find out what is the effect of these variables and what is causing the changes in these variables. It involves observing two variables in order to establish a statistical corresponding relationship, association, correlation between them. The aim of correlational research is to identify variables that have some sort of relationship. It studies the extent that a change in one variable creates some change in the other variable. It seeks to establish a relationship between two or more variables that do not really lend themselves to experimental manipulation. This results in collection of information from many subjects at one time, and it can also study a wide range of variables and their interrelationship. Correlational research study variables that are not easily produced in the laboratory, and thus it can conclude and find out the relationship between various variables and correlate their interrelationship with the particular scientific problem or with particular scientific phenomenon. Next is inductive research. It is concerned with the generation of new theory emerging from the data. When there is a little or no existing literature on a particular topic, it is common to perform inductive research because there is no theory to test. Inductive research will usually use research questions to narrow the scope of a study, focused on exploring new phenomena or looking at previously researched phenomena from a different perspective. Inductive approaches are generally associated with qualitative research. So, it mainly utilized to develop a new theory or new explanation for a particular scientific phenomena or scientific problem. It is generally of qualitative nature because it theoretically find out the details of particular scientific problem. Next is deductive research. Deductive approach is aimed at testing theory. It is also called as theory testing research, which we will discuss again in further classification. It is based on hypothesis framed on existing theory and testing it. Emphasis is generally on causality, means what is causing that particular problem is mostly is the focus of the research in deductive studies. Associated with quantitative research, it explains causal relationship between concept and variables, measures concept quantitatively, and generalize research finding to a certain extent to explain particular phenomena which can be generalized in many fields wherever those knowledge, those problems exist. Next type is cross-sectional research, a type of observational research that analyzes data of variables collected at one given point in time across a sample population or a predefined subset. It is also known as cross-sectional analysis or transverse study or prevalence study. Subjects of different ages are compared at the same time. Utilizes different groups of people, different experiment, different scientific condition, but share other characteristics such as their output or in cases of social research, socioeconomic status, educational background and ethnicity. So a cross-sectional research is studied out in a wide range of events or population and data is collected at the same time, and then it is used to analyze the cause of that particular phenomena or impact of that particular phenomena on wide range of population, wide range of event at that particular time, at a particular situation. It involves study of many cases at one point in time or occasion. One-shot or cross-sectional studies, they are also called as one-shot studies, are those in which data is generated once and either during a period of days, specific period of weeks or month which is predetermined and collected only once. Many cross-sectional studies are exploratory or descriptive in purpose. They are designed to look at how things are now without any sense of whether there is a history or trend at work. So, they cross-sectional studies find out the reason and find out the current situation of particular problem or particular event without going for history. Studies are designed to look at the things at the present without being affected by any historical aspects or any trend of that particular event or particular thing. What is the situation now? What is the condition now? What are the properties of that particular event now? This is the only focus of cross-sectional studies at a wide range of population, at wide range of scientific events. Next is longitudinal research. Longitudinal studies are a type of correlational research in which researchers observe and collect data on number of variables without trying to influence these variables. The data is collected without any external influence in the situation where they are currently present. Researchers repeatedly examine the same individual to detect any changes that might occur over a period of time. So any scientific phenomena, any social event is observed for a very long duration of time to evaluate, to assess effect of time on that particular phenomena or on that particular situation. It involves data connection and study of sample at multiple points in time or occasion. Often it is more time consuming and expensive than cross-sectional studies, but longitudinal studies are more likely to find out and identify causal relationship between variables What is the cause of particular situation? What is the impact of variables on particular situation? What is causing the variation in variable and the outcome is all studies for longer duration of time by continuously observing and collecting data for particular situation for a prolonged period is basic of longitudinal research. Longitudinal studies take form of first trend study, looks at population characteristics over time, example organizational absenteeism rates during the course of a year or during a period of pandemic or during a period of festival. This is trend study. So mostly trend studies are carried out in social research. Cohort study traces a subpopulation over a time. For example, in particular situation, what is the relation of particular department in that condition? For example, in first example in trend study, we have find out that the absenteeism during festival or during particular period of time. And in cases of cohort study, we focus a special group. For example, sales study, administrative people, what you can say, cleaning staff or office attendants. This kind of particular population is considered and same phenomena is observed for them. Example, absenteeism of sales department during festival season. Next is panel study. Panel study traces the same sample over time. Example, track record of careers of graduates for a longer period of time, for a decade or for 20 years or for 50 years or 5 years. Progression of educational outcome of particular population, for example, a socio-economic group or particular education background people or what you can say, rural people. So in panel study, same sample is evaluated, observed and analyzed, and their outcomes are observed over a longer period of time. It can be carried out in scientific studies also. Next is field research. Field research is a qualitative method of data collection that aims to observe, interact and understand people while they are in natural environment. While the scientific event is happening in natural environment, the cause and its various parameters, its effects are studied in that natural situation is called as field research. It encompasses a diverse range of social research methods including direct observation, limited participation, analysis of documents and other information, informal interviews, surveys, observation of scientific phenomena and others. It is conducted in a real world and natural environment where there is no tampering of variables and the environment is not doctored or manipulated. Due to this study being conducted in a comfortable environment, data can be collected even about ancillary topics. The researcher gains a deep understanding into the research subjects, into the research situation, into the scientific phenomena due to the proximity to them, and hence the research is extensive, thorough and accurate. Next is laboratory research. So laboratory research and experimental research are rarely same. A scientific or technological research, experiments and measurement conducted in a controlled condition is called as laboratory. Means it may not be conducted in a actual laboratory in a building. A laboratory can be a field, a laboratory can be a farm, laboratory can be a society also. Laboratory studies allow precise design. The researcher determines the variables, the series of manipulations and their impact. Measures can be specified precisely, then administered in the desired sequence with high response rates and relative attention. So this is very important characteristics of the laboratory research. Like experimental research, it is specified precisely, administered in a desired sequence with high response rate and with full attention. Researchers can identify relevant variables and optionalize them deliberately. They can manipulate, they can change, they can control the variables they wish. Because of time and space constraints, laboratory researchers typically are forced to focus on a few critical variables in their design, whether correlational or experimental. So, this is one constraint, that you have to focus on limited numbers of variables. This focus disciplines the question that researcher asks, often making hypothesis more precise. So, since the control on the variables and the situation and environment is very strong, the precise answers for particular questions, particular relationship between variables and their impact can be studied very accurately and precisely. Next is action research. It is a disciplined process of inquiry conducted by and for those taking the action. The primary reason for engaging in action research is to assist the actor in improving and or refining his or her actions for problem solving in social situations. It is used to improve quality of action within it, involving collaboration and cooperation of researchers, participants, and laymen. So, action research is a research to find out the and to explain a scientific or social phenomena by participation of actual performing subjects. It can be situational, where diagnosing a problem, finding out a problem at particular situation and then attempting to solve it. Collaborative, participatory, researcher himself or herself takes part in the particular situation and becomes a part of implementation of finding. It can be self-evaluatory, where constant evaluation and adjustment of research and practice is carried out, and it is a fact-finding process to improve the quality of action in social world or in scientific phenomena. Action research is used for improving practice. It involves action, evaluation, and critical reflection. Based on the evidence gathered, changes in practice are then implemented. It is a participative and collaborative. It is undertaken by individuals with a common purpose. It is situation based and context specific. It develops reflection based on interpretations made by the participants. Knowledge is created through action and at the point of application. It involves problem solving if the solution to the problems lead to the improvement of practices, and finding will emerge as action develops, but these are not always conclusive or absolute. Then next is ethnographic research. It refers to the investigation of a culture through an in-depth study of the members of the culture. It involves the systemic collection, description, and analysis of data for development of theories of cultural behavior. Most of these types are whatever classification we are discussing, some are relevant to social science and social research more as compared to the scientific research. It studies people, ethnic groups, and other ethnic formations, their ethnogenesis, compositions, their settlement, social welfare characteristics, as well as their material and spiritual cultures and beliefs. Data collection is often done through participant observation, interviews, and questionnaires. The purpose of ethnographic research is to attempt to understand what is happening naturally in the setting and to interpret the data gathered to see what implications could be formed from the data. Qualitative research study looking at the social interaction of users in the given environment is also basis of ethnographic research. It provides an in-depth insight into the user's views and actions along with the sights and sounds they encounter during their day. It provides the researcher with an understanding of how these particular users see the world and how they interact with everything around them. Methods include direct observation, diary studies, video recordings, photography, and after fact artifact analysis such as devices that a person uses throughout the day, throughout their life study, throughout their uh, daily routine. Next is historical research. It is also mostly important in social research. Refers to use of primary historical data to answer a question. Historical research is research involving analysis of events that occurred in the remote or recent past. So, finding out the explanation for particular phenomena based on the already available data or knowledge. Data may include demographic records such as birth and death certificates, newspaper articles, letters, publications, and diaries, government records, or even architectural drawings. Publications, patents can form the historical uh, data for scientific research. It shows patterns that occurred in the past and over time, which can help us to see whether we can form and what kind of solutions we have used in the past. Understanding this can add perspective on how we examine current events and educational practices and explain scientific changes evaluation. Given a social scientist a better context for making realistic decisions, it helps uh, science studies in designing and predicting the future experiments based on the historical data. The steps involved in the conduct of historical research are identification of the research topic and formulation of the research problem or question, data collection or literature review, evaluation of material, data synthesis, and report preparation and preparation of the narrative exposition. So, once this process has been done, we can either go for future experiments, future studies, or can draw inferences for the existing data. Next is phenomenological research. It is a qualitative research that focuses on the study of an individual's lived experiences within the world. An inductive descriptive research approach developed from phenomenological philosophy. Its aim is to describe an experience as it is actually lived by the person. It is concerned with the study of experience from the perspective of the individuals, bracketing taken for granted assumptions, conventional wisdom, and usual ways of perceiving. So, phenomenological research focuses on study of particular individual or society or group of people or a scientific event in the actual setting based on paradigm of personal knowledge and subjectivity and emphasis of importance of personal perspective and interactions. It is very powerful for understanding subjective experience, gaining insights into people motivations and actions, and finding out the solution for any natural phenomena or natural situation. It is very useful for explaining various uh, changes or action taking place in natural or in nature. Next is causal research. It aims at establishing cause and effect relationship among variables. It is also it can be utilized in social as well as scientific research. A research method that is used to determine the cause and effect relationship between two or more variables. This research is used mainly to determine and identify the cause of the given behavior. Using causal research, we decide what variation takes place in an independent variable with the change in the dependent variable. So, what are the changes that can be done, that can be observed, and that can be studied by controlling, changing, manipulating independent variables and observing the outcome on dependent variables. So, thus a relationship between cause and effect of various variables in a social or in scientific situation are studied in causal research. Next is theory testing research. Theory is a coherent set of general properties or propositions used as principle of explanation of the apparent relationship of certain observed phenomena. So, in simple language, theory explains a particular phenomena and its causes. So, theory testing research aims at testing the particular theory and proving validity of that theory. The main focus of theory testing is to find evidences to confirm or refute a theory. In this instance, theory testing tries to find out if there is a sufficient evidence to substantiate the theory, if there can be evidences generated to prove a particular theory is correct or wrong. Generally, academic research at graduate level is focused on theory testing. Next is theory building research. To establish and formulate theory is the main purpose of theory building research. Theory building research carefully defines concepts, states the domain, explains how and why relationship exist, predicts the occurrence of specific phenomena, whether it is scientific or social, and after prediction, it typically gathers evidences to see if the phenomenon occurs, and thus develops a new explanation for a particular scientific or social event or phenomena. Is the main purpose of theory building research. So, the process of theory building research is first observation of objects and events, then development of concepts regarding that observations, then finding out the propositions, and based on the proposition developing a theory to explain that particular event or phenomena. Next is classification research. Classification research aims at categorizing of units into groups to demonstrate differences in particular or specific events, to explain relationship between variables and causes and different components of particular uh, situation. Next is comparative research. It is carried out to identify similarities and differences between units at all levels, conducted mainly to explain and gain better understanding of the causal process involved in the creation of an event, feature, or relationship. Usually done by bringing together variations in the explanatory variables. There are 4 to 5 types of group comparison. One is ex post facto, where causal comparative study is carried out where groups are already present. Experimental, in which random groups are assigned. Individuals are randomly assigned to various groups. Quasi-experimental, where random assignment of group is carried out and comparative study between different groups is done. So methods of doing comparative research specifically are individualizing comparison, contrast a small number of cases in order to grasp the peculiarities of each case. This basically involves describing fully the characteristics or feature of each of the case being studied. This helps to broaden our knowledge and give insight to see cases in depth. Universalizing comparison aims to establish that every instance of a phenomenon follows essentially the same rule. This involves the use of comparison to develop fundamental theories with significant generality and relevance. Goes to further to provide theories which explain the case being studied. So individualizing means comparing individual cases, small numbers. Universalizing means explaining the phenomena, comparing the phenomena in very large population. Then variation finding comparison seeks to establish a principle of variation in the characteristics or intensity of a phenomena by examining systemic differences between instances. So here we find out the basic differences, variations in a different situation. That is comparing numerous forms of single phenomena to discover logical differences among instances and establish a standard of variation in the character of intensity of the phenomena. Then next is encompassing comparison, which places different instances at various locations within the same system on the way to explaining their characteristics as a function of their varying relationship to the system as a whole. So individualization, studying individual group, universalizing the comparison based on the findings and trying to apply the findings to a broad category, then variation finding and encompassing. These are the methods of studying comparative research. So thank you for studying and getting knowledge and discussion about types of research. During this classification, many of theories were related to social science and some of theories were related to scientific research and some were applicable to both. So we have just tried to discuss a generalized classification without going for scientific or social science research, but to generally study the types of research. If you have liked the presentation, please subscribe to my channel Khobra's Academy and keep watching. Thank you.